everybody.
Goat cheeses.
Yes, we're on a collection caper with Uncle Steve and Uncle Mark, who used to have a red beard. And you'll see what we're collecting shortly. Hello folks. This was going to be a collection caper video. Unfortunately, the start of the collection did not go as planned, and I ended up leaving this camera behind accidentally, so that's why I just did that little bit on the phone. The idea was I was just going to film bits on the phone and all this lot, but to be quite honest, I was having such good banter and stuff, I didn't bother, I forgot. And I didn't want to film outside the guy that we collected to his house. He does film outside his house. I'm going to put a link to his channel on the description where I got it, and if any of you are after a little project bike, go and give him a look. Pleasant chap to deal with, and probably be doing more business in the future, who knows. Anyway, shall I show you what we went to collect? I mean, you've already seen it in the thumbnail, but this is it, Project Frankie. And as soon as Steve saw it, he named it "You've got to call it Frankenstein," because of the stitching, and I think that is such a cool job. I might just leave it on. Anyway, I did already film some stuff this morning, but I used the other GoPro, and let's just get in the shed. And as we already know from the other GoPro, the sound quality on it, unless you're using the plug-in mic that I do for the vlogs, is fucking terrible. And I've just watched the footage now. This is Sunday afternoon, and it's almost unwatchable because of the wind noise. My voice is coming in and out and in and out, and it's just going to irritate the shit out of people. So I'm refilming the whole lot. I'm just going to give you a quick walk around the bike, a little history on the Pegaso, and we'll just take it from there. Yeah. So this is a 1999 Aprilia Pegaso 650 single cylinder. This is the second generation of it. Mechanically they didn't change much. Bodywork they did. The first iteration had right way up forks. This has got oopy doonies. It had a different sort of a single headlight there. It had little square indicators and some other just little design things. I think the tank was the same. I think the side fairings they were different, and I think the side panels may have been different. Now this is as I got it, and to be quite honest, apart from what I filmed this morning, this is the first time I've really had a chance to have a good look over it. And I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. It's as simple as that. It's after a project, we got a project, something I've never worked on before and something I've never ridden before, and they've always interested me. Little middleweight singles have always interested me. I have had Rotax engines before. This is an Austrian Rotax engine, which is like normal in Aprilias. I had a Falco with the RSV engine in it. That was a Rotax, and the one thing that they've all got in common, if your battery isn't absolutely tip top, they just will not start, they won't have it. So basically this is what it is. I've got to find a chain guard. Already found one on eBay. I haven't pulled the trigger on that. I need to find a side panel. I've already found one, because there is no rush with this bike. If I can get it on the road sort of next spring and start to get used to him, I should be a happy bunny. If it happens before that, it does. If not, it's no great stress, because we've got Phyllis and we've got Nibbler. Anyway, there are a couple of nice little markers around this bike, and one is "Let's walk round with Jimmy." It's had a front caliper rebuild. You see there was all new rubbers, new pads. I've got to get a battery. I did order a battery off Amazon yesterday. It came this morning. It's completely the wrong one. My fault. I just went with the Amazon listing. I didn't do any cross-referencing of what should go in, and basically they've delivered an Aprilia scooter battery, which is okay because that might fit Phyllis, so it's no great loss at the end of the day. It has the dirt style foot pegs. I think you can get rubber inserts for them, or you can get rubber foot pegs. I would prefer, because it's going to be road ridden, rubber foot pegs. It's got a rack with a 9 kilo limit on it, so it's all ready to take like a top box adapter plate, for example. It's twin exhaust at the back, which I love. It's nice and symmetrical. I think there's another little bit of bodywork that goes under here, like a little duck tail sort of thing, duck bill, whatever you call it. We need to source one of those, but again, no great rush. It's a plastic fuel tank, and I believe it's about, I'm going to get this so wrong, 17 to 18 litre capacity, and that includes 4 litres reserve. Apparently you can get over 200 miles on one of these. They're pretty good on the old juicage. This is your oil tank here. It's a dry sump engine, and it has a separate oil tank up here, and the way you check the oil is that you run the bike, stand it upright, take this out, and it's got a dipstick, apart from the dickhead riding it, it's got a dipstick, and you then dip the oil. Now, we haven't had this bike running, and there you go, made in Italy dipstick, there you go. So it's that's how you top the oil up and check the oil. You have to have it upright. Now, some of them did come with a centre stand. This one hasn't got one. What else can I tell you about it? Oh, BMW basically took this bike. I think they started selling them in the early 2000s, but they basically took this bike, put their own BMW bodywork on it, and they BMW-ised the engine, made it more German, efficient, you know. This is, for its time, it was a very high-tech single. It's a 5-valve head, which I think is 3 inlet, 2 exhaust. You can correct me on that one. It's a single plug head, and I do believe, in fact I do know, this is twin carburettor, and it's a single key system all round, so it's still got all the original locks. Hang on. It's so easy to get the seat off. All your gubbins are under here, and the only one that I've got a little warning flag on is somebody has grafted in, let's go round again, an auxiliary power wire. Now, when I put a battery on it earlier, I put the 2 main terminals on, and there was nothing at the top here, nothing at the ignition at all. But when we plug this in, which goes, somebody's put it into the main loom here, and it comes out into the main fuse block, we get power. Now, I don't like the look of this connection. It's going a bit green and furry. I can't say for definite, but I'm pretty sure that isn't standard. So maybe at a future date it might just be worth me just splitting the loom covering and just seeing if there's any split wires or anything like that. It's not going to aggravate me for now. So that's the only thing. But there you go, we've got twin carbly tinkles, look. And your air filter is under here, and I haven't actually looked at it yet. I wonder if I can. Oh god, I'm going to soil myself. No, I can't do that one-handed. Oh, can I? I don't know. Shall I? Right, let me just put you on tap. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, no. Well, there's the air filter housing. I managed to get it off two-handed. Oh, what an odd-shaped airbox, look. I didn't want to do that. What an odd-shaped airbox, hang on. But I'm glad I did that, because this oil filter is, yeah, it's not the best. It's going rusty. The seal at the top is all sticky, so filed. Yes. But good news is there's no cheese-eating friends in there, which is always a danger. And we can just rest that on top for now. Come on, do it properly, boy. If you're going to do it, I've heard that before. Anyway, I'll fuck about that later. So this is it. I need to get some mirrors. It's a little bit scabby in places, but hey ho, you know, it's an old bike at the end of the day. But it is, apart from the bodywork and what have you, complete. By the looks of it, it's had new clutch cable, it's had brake rebuild kit. I've not looked at the date stamps on the tyres yet, but they don't look bad. There's no sort of dry rot or anything like that on it. And I've got Mr. Auto Keyring. So yeah, this is it. This is basically what I can present to you today. I borrowed Steve's VFR battery earlier, but it was it needs a little bit of a charge because obviously it's been in the shed, cold weather, and because we're not running stuff up, it just needed a little bit of a charge, and there wasn't quite enough in it to spin this over. These require quite a hoofty, healthy battery to spin over. I've got no idea. That is not a factory fitted light, so whether somebody had heated grips in the past or something like that, and that was just their little warning light, or they had a USB charge port or something like that, that's there. But I am going to tidy up some of these fasteners and stuff like that, because this is going to be mine, because basically it's just easier to get on with than Nibbler. Nibbler may be sold in the new year. I'm not sure. If I do sell it, I will put a 12-month MOT on it, and I will put new tyres on it. But I'll probably be looking at about 1500 for Nibbler if I did sell him. When Project Charlie's gone, I've got the room, for all three of them and what have you. I can just cram all four in. If I play bike Tetris, I can do it. So yeah, that is your introduction to Frankie. I'm not sure about much more I can actually tell you about it. But this is the introduction basically. But yes, I'm happy with it so far. It's just finding the bits. An interesting note, it does need indicators all round. So immediately, of course, I go onto eBay and all that lot. And there's, apart from generic ones, there's not a lot happening. But I found an online UK Aprilia spares merchant that has all the diagrams and all that lot. And funny enough, the original indicators, they need something like 20 quid each, and that's the whole that's the whole indicator. So you may as well just go around the original route. I've been cross-referencing some original price parts and stuff like that, and they're actually not bad. I'm pretty sure these handlebars aren't standard. I think they've been replaced. The original Aprilia handlebars are 145 quid. The original side panels are all still available. They're about 100 quid, 140 quid, something like that. Braided hose is about 30 quid a length. That might be an idea. But other than that, the task is let's get her running. I know she's running because the vendor sent me a video of it running. And the big problem with these is, it happens with the BMWs as well, everything is bass backwards. So your chain is on the right hand drive, stator flywheel is on the right hand drive. It's completely opposite to a Japanese bike, but it's common for sort of a dirt bike, if you see what I mean. And the big problem is, behind the flywheel there's a one-way roller bearing, and it does wear, but occasionally it gets like a lot of oil varnish on it and stuff, and it doesn't grip. So when the starter's trying to start it, it flings these bearings out a little bit. It grips, I presume it grips the flywheel and starts the bike. Now when it starts to get the varnish on and stuff like that, it has a hard time doing it, and if the battery's not at full health, it won't fling it out fast enough to grip. And people can park them up for that. Who knows why this was originally parked up. But the part is not expensive. It's not a big job for me, at least, to change it. It would scare other people off. I can understand that, and I totally get it. But it doesn't scare me. It's a cover off, buzz gun, out with the centre nut, a puller for the flywheel, disassemble it, clean everything up, put it back. I know that I've just made it sound easy, but some people can't change spark plugs, and it's no fault of their own really. But I'm pretty sure the guy I had it off has started doing this, because there's new clamps on the carbs, there's new clamps and sealing gaskets on the exhaust, there's the odd stainless fitting going on about, and like I say, I mean, the chain's in good condition, plenty of adjustment left on it. It's had a rebuild kit on the back caliper, a rebuild kit on the front caliper. The fork seals do not appear to be leaking, and yeah, it's just something nice and different. So this has been your introduction to Frankie, the Aprilia Pegaso 650. Now Pegaso, I do believe, these were called the Flying Mythos, the Flying Myth, because Pegaso is Pegasus in Italian, I do believe. So yeah, we've already had ideas of, shall we, you know, paint it olive green, or shall we do it as a parachute regiment tribute bike with a big parachute logo or something like that, or shall we just spray it biscuit and have it as like a Desert Storm recon bike, or do we just leave it as it is? It's got bags of character as it is. I think that's got bags of character. It's going to really make other people frilly. The only other thing I'd consider fitting would be heated grips, because together with the handguards they would work really, really well. But the brakes aren't sticking on, the brakes work well. So it's little stuff really, but it's not that much stuff. It's easy to take the subframe off and shit like that. It's quite a well designed bike, and I've never had anything like this, so it's going to be interesting, because apparently with half decent tyres on, these will carve through the corners. You know, you can embarrass sports bikes on the corners with it, because we know it's the rider, not the bike. Anyway, that is your introduction to Frankie. Say the day's getting on a bit now, because I'd already spent literally a couple of hours filming this morning, taking you through the bike. It is unusable footage, I'm afraid, and yeah, we're sorry we didn't film much of the collection or anything like that, but I thought it was respectful to the seller not to film, and we were just having too much of a laugh, to be honest. And it'd be just us talking us to bollocks and singing, so we've spared you that. So yes, that is Project Frankie. Again, it's not desperate that it gets done quickly or anything like that, because obviously we're working on Project Charlie. I've put the hub back in Charlie just to keep everything off the floor. There's still a little bit more cleaning up to do. I've started to clean the swing arm and it's coming up lovely, but I think what I'm going to do, the forks have got to come out for new seals and bushes. So what I might have to do is put the bench back into service, get this back on it, and then what I can do after I've done the forks, I can then put a jack under the back of the engine with it strapped and get the swing arm out. It's not like the NC30, you don't need a special tool, and you do with the NC30. It's just two bloody great big Allen headed things, I think, but I can't get the swing arm out with the ABBA stand because that's what it locates in. So yeah, it's still coming together with Charlie. I'm rebuilding calipers at the moment, but I've been busy at work and it's been effing cold, and I just do stuff when I'm in the mood to do it. Basically, there's no super rush for this. I think to be fair, between the both of them, they're both going to be done by spring unless we hit major obstacles, which I don't think we're going to. And when Charlie's done, there is already another project lined up which only a couple of people know about, and I think you will be highly amused by. So turn it round. So with that, I'm sorry about the lost footage and all this lot, but it is unwatchable. It's totally unwatchable. You don't realise when you're recording it how much the wind actually affects that other camera. It's fine with the boom, with the mic in when we're riding along. That seems to be pretty high quality, so I will use it for that. But I've also just bought a gimbal for it, which can be mounted to the motorbike. That might make for some interesting footage, because you can mount it to like the front forks, or put crash bars on it. You can mount it to crash bars and just get some different footage, because obviously the camera will stay horizontal. That's the idea. So you'll get sort of a more enhanced lean angle and stuff like that. So I've just got to look at mounts and stuff for that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting Frankie. On the road, I think it will be an amusing bike, and I think it's for the kind of riding I do, especially when we're out with the other lads. It's quick enough. It's more than quick enough. And the good thing about it is it's sit up and beg riding position, because I notice if I don't use nibbler all that often, he is actually hurting my wrists. Stop it. So if I ride him every day to work, nice weather, it doesn't bother me. You get into it. But yeah, he's big, he's heavy. Do I need a bike that fast? Not really. I think this is more towards the future. I was actually looking for a big scooter, like a Bergman 4 or something like that, and I have seen a couple of options and they were good prices. That was a very good price. In a later video I shall tell you what I paid for it, but yeah, I think that'll wrap it up now, guys. So thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. Please continue to do so. It helps the channel on the old algorithms. I'm even getting my own videos recommended now, which is nice. I've told you about the future plans for the trailer. Both Mark and Steve have come up with the idea that it'll probably look great with some like old mini wheels on or something like that. But yeah, this will get tidied up as well, and it's all sort of coming together. So he's going to go back into there. Phyllis is going to go behind him, and then we're going to have me Sunday dinner. To have fun. Thanks for watching. Ta-da.